In my past life, I lifted the mask from the Miao hostage's face, unwittingly breaking his lover's curse, forcing him to marry me. Yet after our wedding, I learned the one he truly loved was my closest confidant. That day, he waited at the bridgehead, hoping Jilingsu would come to unveil his mask. So when Jilingsu fell ill, he used me to cultivate the poison without hesitation, drawing my blood daily to brew her medicine. The one I should have married was Susu. You were the one who took off my mask first, this is what you owe her. Those hurtful words have haunted me my entire life. That's why I chose to start over. When Wu Mingzhao stumbled into my arms amid the crowd, I stepped aside. In his stunned gaze, I pushed Jilingsu into his arms. Back to the lantern festival of my past life. I strolled with the noble ladies. Amidst the dazzling lanterns, the young hostage from Miaojiang, Wu Mingzhao, stood at the bridgehead, anxiously awaiting someone. The youth in black robes, adorned with silver ornaments, wore a demon mask that drew many eyes. Upon seeing me, his dark eyes froze for an instant. My breath caught in my throat. This lifetime, I no longer wished to pass by him. But the surging crowd pushed me onto the stone bridge. The moment Wu Mingzhao was knocked down, just like in my past life, he fell into my arms once more. This time, however, I scrambled backward, dodging him as if he were a raging flood or a ferocious beast. Wu Mingzhao lay sprawled on the ground, his eyes behind the mask fixed on me in stunned disbelief. As I turned to leave, he murmured my name in disbelief, Rongjiu. You. The young hostage from Miaojiang had collided with a stone pillar, his forehead gouged open, his features marred. Yet he seemed utterly unconcerned. The blood only accentuated the eerie, dark beauty of his face, his bloodshot eyes fixed intently on me. I stepped aside, pulling my close confidant Jilingsu toward him and pushing her forward. Susu, tend to him. Jilingsu hesitated, then, seeing the blood covering his face, hurriedly helped him up. She took out her handkerchief to wipe the blood from his face. Your Highness, the wound on your face is deep. We need to remove your mask to examine it. She reached out, anxious to pull off Wu Mingzhao's mask. Unlike the previous life, Wu Mingzhao offered no resistance whatsoever. His gaze remained dark and unfathomable, fixed on me. He urgently whispered something to Jilingsu. Jilingsu pulled him back. I couldn't bear to watch any longer. I turned and followed the crowd away. This time, I didn't step between him and Jilingsu. Could he finally have his wish? In my past life, Wu Mingzhao had fallen into my arms, his face similarly slashed. In my panic, I had torn off his mask. Under the hazy city lights, his gaze upon me had shifted from shock to disarray, finally bursting into uncontrollable affection. Once he regained his footing, he forcibly averted his eyes. His face paled slightly as he looked helplessly toward Jilingsu beside me. Back then, I didn't know the mask was enchanted with a lover's charm. It was a Miao custom, after reaching adulthood, Miao men must wear such masks. Until their beloved removed it. Then the man would be bound by the lover's charm, forever devoted solely to that one person. Had I been wiser in my past life, had I understood the look he gave Jilingsu back then, I wouldn't have ended up as a love-cursed victim. Footsteps echoed behind me, drawing nearer. Startled, I quickened my pace, not daring to look back. With the lessons of my past life, I dared not provoke him again. After marrying Wu Mingzhao, he scarcely shared my bed. Even his mere approach would cause the poisonous insects within him to gnaw at his flesh, driving him to crave closeness with me. Yet he endured it all. Later, I understood, he was preserving his purity for his true love. The lover's bug made his body uncontrollable, but he could restrain his heart. Eventually, I took the initiative to set a schedule, agreeing to share a bed on the 15th of every month. He remained silent, as if enduring a long silence before coldly conceding, I shall obey your wishes. In the 3rd year after our marriage, Jilingsu contracted a strange illness. He began deceiving me into consuming bug larvae, using my body to nurture the bugs. Every day thereafter was agony beyond endurance. Wu Mingzhao confined me in a pitch-black room, forbidding me to leave or see anyone, not even my own parents. Yet this was not enough. Each day, he came punctually to draw my blood with his own hands. That pain, day after day. Thick, layered scars formed on my wrists. In the end, I was the first to lose my mind, to regret it all. I refused to cooperate with the bloodletting anymore. Breaking down in tears, I pressed a dagger to my throat, demanding a divorce. Staring at the mess on the floor, Wu Mingzhao froze in place. The fingertips beneath his dark sleeves trembled slightly before he clenched them tightly. His cold, beautiful eyes met mine. Had you not torn off my mask first, why would I have married you? Why would I have missed Su Su? This is merely what you owe her, what you deserve. If given another chance, I beg you to stay far from me. Best never to cross paths again. Each word he spoke felt like a poison-tipped nail driven deep into my heart. That memory was too painful to even recall. Thankfully, in this life, I wasn't the one who tore off his mask. We were no longer connected. Not long after the Lantern Festival passed. Just like in my previous life, an epidemic broke out in the Northwest. I entered the palace, carrying the prescription later formulated by the imperial physician in my past life, and knelt before the emperor. This humble maiden volunteers to journey to the Northwest to halt the spread of the plague and alleviate your majesty's concerns. This formula can suppress the plague and save countless lives. That same day, the emperor personally issued an edict, ordering me to accompany the army to the Northwest. He pointed at the young general of the Song family, Song Bimu. You must protect the young lady of the Rong family and escort her safely to the Northwest. Should any harm come to her, I shall hold you personally accountable. The young general, adorned in military regalia and ceremonial pins, knelt before the emperor and swore with his life, this subordinate will not hesitate to die 10,000 times to protect her. Stepping outside the palace, scattered flakes of snow drifted down. This journey north. By the time I return, half a year may have passed. Thinking of my past life, half a year ago, I had already married Wu Mingzhao. Wu Mingzhao and I didn't start out hating each other to the bone, despising each other's very existence. Not long after I broke the love-binding charm he cast on me. He would come to wait outside my residence every day, bringing me strange little trinkets unique to the Miao region. He'd bring the little bug pests he kept to show me. I'd say, I want to see them dance. And he'd command the bugs to flit and twirl around me. The boy's dark eyes would sparkle, filled with sticky affection that made my cheeks burn. He'd climb the wall too. In the night's embrace, he'd play for me a meow melody, a song of love whispered to one's beloved. On our wedding day, Ji Lingsu came to attend my ceremony. Wu Mingzhao stared at her, his face pale, unable to look away. It was as if he remembered everything. As if he recalled who his true love truly was. From that day onward, Wu Mingzhao grew colder toward me with each passing day. Until the poisonous insects had drained me dry, and I coughed up blood in his arms. When I came to my senses, an oil-paper umbrella shielded my head, blocking all the wind and snow. I looked beside me in surprise. Song Baima tilted the umbrella toward me, a light dusting of snow settling on his armored shoulders. General Song, I'm fine. You needn't see me off. His brows curved, the intimidating aura vanishing, revealing a pair of sharp fangs. Your Majesty, command me to protect you every step of the way. How could I dare disobey an imperial command? Miss Rong, from now on, my life belongs to you. He escorted me back to the mansion gate, pressing the oil-paper umbrella into my hands. In 3 days, I will lead troops to the Northwest. The Northwest is bitterly cold. As a young lady with a delicate constitution, remember to prepare well and bring plenty of warm clothing. I blinked in a daze, forced a smile, and nodded. Thank you for your concern, General Song. Walking back alone. A gust of wind chilled my nose red, stinging my eyes. Unbidden, memories of my past life surfaced. After our marriage, Wu Mingzhao seemed like a different man. He restrained himself from closeness, speaking little to me. Wherever I went, he never asked a single question. Once, when I was ill for a long time, he never came to see me. Only when he returned, pale and haggard, did he hurriedly feed me medicine. It was only through a servant's slip of the tongue that I learned Ji Lingsu had also fallen ill during my sickness. Wu Mingzhao had stayed by her side. And I could never compare to the importance of his true love. By the time I finished packing my belongings for the Northwest, it was already the final day. Wu Mingzhao and I never had another chance to meet. As my closest confidant, Ji Lingsu arranged a farewell banquet for me. I had no desire to attend. Ji Lingsu embraced me. The plague is rampant in the northwest. It's so dangerous. Who knows when you'll return once you leave? All the words I wanted to refuse were choked in my throat. My heart softened. Truthfully, in my past life, I had also harbored hatred. But I never knew whom I should truly blame. After much reflection, it was I who had stolen the marriage that rightfully belonged to her. If I hadn't removed Wu Mingzhao's mask back then, they would have long since been united as husband and wife, and I wouldn't have become a cursed person. I hated Wu Mingzhao. And I hated myself. Slowly, I raised my hand and embraced her tightly. It felt as though those obsessions had finally dissolved into thin air. Lingsu, in this life, I'm returning him to you. You must find joy year after year. She froze. Qiu, what did you say? I don't understand. I smiled. It didn't matter if she didn't understand now. One day, she would. At the banquet. I let myself go, drinking heavily. As if trying to vent all the pent-up frustration from those 3 years of my past life. I never expected to see Wu Mingzhao here. His Miao tribal attire, silver earrings dangling from his ears even from afar, he stood out in the crowd. After my rebirth, I deliberately avoided him. Skipped every possible encounter. Instinctively, fear made me lower my gaze. I asked Ji Lingsu beside me, isn't this my farewell banquet? Why is he here too? Ji Lingsu flushed slightly. Pulling my hand, she murmured softly, last time he injured his face, I took him to the clinic and even covered his medical fees. After that, we stayed in touch. We only meet occasionally, just to chat. The Miao people are skilled in cultivating poisonous insects. I wanted him to teach me. Seeing the blush spreading across her face. I was lost in thought for a moment. A chill spread through my heart. I, too, had once pestered him to teach me bug magic. All I got were his icy words, just because you want to learn, does that mean I have to teach you? Miao bug magic is endlessly complex. You won't master it. Even if you could, I wouldn't want to teach you, it's a waste of time. So, people are different. He simply refused to invest his time and patience in me. Thankfully, in this lifetime, Wu Mingzhao and I weren't even acquaintances. Ji Lingsu, thinking I disliked irrelevant people at the banquet, explained to me, I invited him. It's all my fault. I just mentioned in passing that you were heading to the northwest and wanted to see you off. He suddenly asked to attend the banquet and I couldn't refuse. Seeing Wu Mingzhao again. I thought I might have some special reaction. But I merely gave a faint acknowledgement. Wu Mingzhao approached to toast me farewell. Standing beside Ji Lingsu, they looked like a perfect match. His gaze upon me was pitch black. Hidden within were emotions I couldn't decipher. But I no longer cared. So, fueled by the wine, I raised my cup to them and offered a frank wish, next time I return, I'll drink to your wedding. Prince Ji, treat her well. Don't break her heart the way you tormented mine. Wu Mingzhao froze instantly. He glared at me coldly, his grip on the wine cup tightening until the knuckles whitened and protruded. More than half the wine splashed out of the cup. I steadied my gaze. Only then did I notice that silver demon mask still covered his face. With such a perfect opportunity at the Lantern Festival. He hadn't let Ji Lingsu remove it? What was he thinking? The alcohol muddled my mind. Since I couldn't figure it out, I decided not to think about it at all. As the banquet drew to a close, my body burned with feverish heat. As if countless venomous insects were crawling and gnawing. To spare Ji Lingsu worry, I stumbled toward a room, seeking solitude to sober up. Inside, I was not alone. A dark, stern figure emerged from behind the bed curtains, like a hunter waiting patiently. As he drew near, the burning within me roared louder. Through blurred vision, I gasped his name in terror, Wu Mingzhao. Why? In my past life, he loathed me for becoming his wife before Ji Lingsu. But after rebirth, I'd stepped aside at every turn, pushing Ji Lingsu into his arms. His icy, slender fingers brushed my cheek. I bit my tongue to suppress the urge to press against him. The masked youth, ghostly and bewitching, gently wiped the blood from my lips. His fingertips parted my lips. Audio, you don't have to hold back. The seed bug within you will make you crave me. My consciousness grew increasingly chaotic. He grasped my hand, guiding it to the icy mask covering his face. His voice whispered seductively, "Joe, help me take it off." Those words exploded like thunder in my mind. Scenes from my past life flashed through my consciousness. Even after my death, my parents, suppressing their grief, came to claim my remains. All they received was his icy reply, "Remains?" I scattered the ashes after burning them. In an instant, my mother aged a decade, weeping uncontrollably, "Joer, it's your mother's fault. I shouldn't have agreed to this marriage, believing he'd treat you well. I pushed you into the fire pit. If you could live again, Joer, open your eyes. Don't end up with nothing left but ashes." Wu Mingzhao watched coldly as my parents, hunched over, finally left, clinging to each other. That night, he gently stroked my urn, his gaze dark and heavy. "I'll never hand you over to anyone. Rongjiu, even in death, you remain mine alone." My lingering spirit shuddered violently. Only then did I grasp the magnitude of my mistake, tempting a being I should never have provoked. Even death offered no peace. My fingers brushed the icy mask of the demon god upon his face. Like an electric shock, I jerked my hand away. Even as the poison within me burned with an unquenchable hunger for him, I regained my senses. Wait. I'll go find Ling Su. This lifetime, even in death. I dared not remove his mask. The poison within my body seared like raging flames, 1,000 tiny insects gnawing at my flesh. Still, I pulled away from Wu Mingzhao. Staggering, I made my way toward the door. Behind me, beneath the mask, a pair of demonically alluring eyes grew icy cold. His hand, hidden beneath the dark robe, shot out, yanking me back forcefully, pinning me against his chest. Dazed, I lifted my gaze. They met those eyes that had hated me to the bone in a past life. Now, filled with fury and frustration, they were strained until the corners turned crimson. "Rongjiu, why are you avoiding me? I told you to remove my mask. Not someone else. Don't push me away to someone else." His voice was fragile, trembling with a threat of desperation. I froze in his embrace, thinking I must have misheard. But it was his own words. If I could start over, I'd stay far from him, better never to have met him at all. I did just that. His eyes reddened again. "Don't you understand? I've fallen for you. Chio, I want to marry you, to be with you for all eternity." As if afraid of frightening me, he bent down from his towering height. He offered his masked face to mine. His voice low and seductive as he explained, "The mask holds a lover's charm. Without it, I'll love only you for the rest of my life." No. Coldness washed over me, shaking uncontrollably. Countless nights he left me alone in our bed. Even our one shared night at 15 was something I begged for. His body might surrender to me, but his heart never did. If Ji Lingsu faced danger, he'd abandon me without hesitation, even enduring the curse's backlash, to rush to her side. No. I won't take it off. Tears streamed down my face before I realized it. Wu Mingzhao watched my tears, his gaze shifting between panic and icy resolve. He fell silent. "So afraid of me? Have I ever done anything to hurt you?" he asked with a self-mocking, faint laugh. That was in a past life. But I knew what would happen next. He would regret it, hate me, and use me to cultivate a poison for Ji Lingsu. That kind of agony, experiencing it once in a lifetime was enough. The one you love isn't me, it's Ji Lingsu. Don't get it wrong again. I whispered hoarsely, my voice trembling with tears. Wu Mingzhao suddenly pulled me into a tight embrace. His lips pressed tightly together. His jet-black eyes seemed to shatter. His voice was dry and hoarse. "No. It was never her. Good girl, Ajo. Take off my mask. This time I won't." His fingers gripped me firmly, slowly touching his mask. with just a little more force. The mask of the lover's curse on his face would be removed by me once more. Prince Ji, do you enjoy tormenting others so much? A lazy chuckle sounded. Song Bimu, a blade of grass between his teeth, leaned lazily against the doorframe. Under Wu Mingzhao's icy, hostile glare, he seized my shoulders. His other arm swept around, snatching me close to him. The hostage has offended you. I'm under orders to protect her safety. Until the plague in the northwest subsides, Miss Rong must not suffer the slightest harm. He dragged me out of the tavern. I held on the entire way. The poisonous insects within me flared up, and I could no longer endure. I collapsed to the ground. Before I lost consciousness, someone caught me before I fell. When I awoke again, I was aboard a carriage bound for the north. Another person sat beside me in the carriage, dressed in military attire, calm and composed. Only upon noticing my awakening did he open his eyes. As I regained consciousness, the poisonous insects within me stirred to life. A searing, numbing sensation intertwined throughout my body. For anyone else, it would be unbearable even for a moment. But I had been locked in a sealed chamber by Wu Mingzhao, serving as a human host for a year. I had endured the most terrifying poison outbreaks. So I could still bear it calmly, though my face grew paler than usual. You're suffering. Why didn't you say anything? The journey to the northwest is long. How much longer can a young lady endure? Song Bima lowered his gaze, asking me in a gentle, resigned tone. When I finally spoke, my voice was hoarse and raspy. I stared at him blankly. Young general, are you willing to help me break the curse? I'd seen nearly every type of bug Wu Mingzhao raised. This was the Mandarin duck curse. If I didn't seek him out, I'd have to find another man to temporarily suppress it. The young general of the Song family, who had been sitting upright, flushed completely crimson, his jade-like ears turning bright red. Of course not. I'm not like that hostage in Miaojiang. This general would never take advantage of someone in distress. He produced a pill he carried with him. He awkwardly averted his gaze. Take this. It will suppress the poison within you. After glancing at it twice, I accepted it from his palm and murmured, Thank you, young general. Few remedies in this world can counter Wu Mingzhao's poison. After becoming a poison-possessed person, I too sought self-salvation. Behind his back, I experimented with various herbs, deluding myself that I could quell the agony within. But all efforts proved futile. Once, Wu Mingzhao discovered me. His face darkened, hiding panic. He grabbed my throat, forcing me to vomit everything up. Who gave you permission to take random medicine? Do you even know some herbs clash with the poisonous insects inside you? His frown deepened, his tone icy and urgent. I vomited until my eyes were tear-filled. My palms were red from my own fingertips digging into them. I knew. Taking those herbs affected the poisonous insect inside me, meaning I couldn't donate blood to cure Jiling Su. The person he cared about was never me. Why thank me? I promised the emperor I'd take care of you. He said it with a casual, almost indifferent tone. The pills he gave me were likely the Song family's secret medicine, a rare treasure, meant to save his life. Yet Song Bima gave them to me. After arriving in the north, Song Bima moved next door to mine for easier protection. In my past life, after marrying Wu Mingzhao, I stayed in the imperial capital. I never came north. Only upon arriving here did I realize the plague was far more severe than imagined. Over half the people were infected, coughing up blood. After coming here, the petty grudges and entanglements between Wu Mingzhao and me were long forgotten. Every day was a whirlwind of activity. Following the prescription, we searched for medicinal herbs to treat the plague. Several herbs had already run out in the city. It was Song Baimu who accompanied me into the mountains to search. Once, a thick fog descended in the mountains. I lost my footing and tumbled down the slope. Without a moment's hesitation, Song Baimu leaped down after me. I sprained my ankle and couldn't move. He unfastened his cloak, draped it over me, and carried me through the mountain paths all night. Unable to move, I rested my head on his shoulder. His shoulders were broad and steady, radiating a warmth beneath his armor that felt hotter than most. I couldn't help but recall my past life. Had I ever shared such closeness with Wu Mingzhao? Not once. Whenever Jilingsu appeared, his gaze would linger on her, lost in a trance-like stare. I was jostled in the crowd, losing one embroidered shoe and spraining my ankle. I couldn't move. I could only crouch on the bustling street, waiting for him to remember me, waiting for him to come find me. Wu Mingzhao didn't take long to find me, yet it felt like an interminably long, utterly hopeless stretch of time. I cried and threw a tantrum, declaring I wouldn't marry him. A flicker of panic crossed his eyes, but his tone remained cold and firm as he told me to stop fussing. He would never agree. That day, Wu Mingzhao didn't carry me home either. He hired a sedan chair and watched me climb inside. Looking back now, Wu Mingzhao truly was a peculiar man. He avoided all intimacy with me, maintaining a strict coldness. His heart belonged to another, yet he refused to divorce me. My head rested on Song Bimu's shoulder as drowsiness overtook me. I forced myself to stay awake and speak to him. Young general, you didn't have to jump down. You could have waited until dawn to send someone to rescue me. I thought that if it had been Wu Mingzhao, even though we were already husband and wife, he would have left me behind. What nonsense are you talking? In the night, his voice was low, like the sound of a zither. How could I possibly leave you alone in the mountains? How afraid would you be, facing the pitch-black mountains all by yourself? He cleared his throat, as if to cover something up. I promised the emperor I would protect your safety. An imperial decree cannot be disobeyed. After gathering all the herbs, I set up a large cauldron to distribute medicinal broth to the northern villagers. Song Bimu, sword in hand, maintained order. I had believed that following the formula from my past life would quickly contain the epidemic. Yet, bowl after bowl of broth went down the patients' throats, and still, there was no improvement. Could it be that the formula passed down in the palace of my past life was flawed? Those infected by the plague died one after another. The truly effective formula had yet to be developed. The patients had no patience left to wait. Just as I was distributing the medicinal broth once more, an infected man suddenly lunged forward, brandishing a blood-stained dagger and lunging at me. The findings of the imperial physicians from my past life. The plague in the northern lands could be transmitted through the blood coughed up by patients. His cheeks sunken, he raved madly, "The court deceives us. This plague is divine punishment, utterly incurable. They sent a mere female physician to dismiss us. We're all going to die anyway, let's all die together." His howls unsettled the people. I forced myself to stay calm and shouted at them, "There is a cure for this plague. Just wait 2 more days." My voice was drowned out by murmurs of discontent and resentment. As the infected crowd surged forward, Song Bimu stood before me, sword in hand. "Rongjiu, hide quickly. What about you?" He didn't answer. Countless hoes and axes swung toward him. Generations of the Song family had served in the military, loyal and courageous. Song Bima couldn't bring himself to harm the people, only parrying their blows with his sword. But the crowd was overwhelming. Soon, blood stained his body. Only when the authorities sent troops did the situation stabilize. I hid behind the stove where medicinal herbs were simmering. Fearing discovery, Song Bima stood guard in front of the stove. Even covered in blood, he didn't move an inch. When he was carried back to his quarters, he remained unconscious. Multiple wounds covered his body. It was impossible to tell whose blood stained him, his own or that of the sick. Fearing infection, the magistrate's men hurriedly departed after delivering Song Bimu. Before leaving, they offered a forced smile, "We trouble Miss Rong to tend to the general for a few days." I nodded in agreement. Truth be told, Song Bimu had sustained such severe injuries because of me. After the others departed, I fetched hot water and carefully removed the armor clinging to his flesh and blood. With a damp cloth, I wiped the blood clean from his body. I fetched needle and thread, suturing the deepest wounds before pouring strong liquor over them. The burning liquor stung his flesh, yet the man on the bed showed no reaction. Having done all I could only pray Song Bima would pull through. Had he not given me that life-saving pill, he might still have a sliver of hope. By my reckoning, I owed him a life. By midnight, the unconscious figure on the bed developed a high fever. His handsome face flushed a burning crimson. I undid his clothes, wiping him down repeatedly to cool his fever. Exhausted, I climbed onto the bed and slept beside Song Bimu. This way, if his condition changed, I could sense it immediately and wake up. In that half-asleep state, someone gently pulled me into their embrace and tucked the quilt around me. When I woke again, I was in the same blanket as Song Bimu. I was still in his arms, completely unclothed. In an instant, I jolted awake in terror. Song Bimu also stirred. His starry eyes gazed at me with a faint, ambiguous smile. You've seen everything. Shouldn't you take responsibility? I froze beside him. My face drained of color. Memories I'd tried to forget surged back. Because I'd accidentally removed Wu Mingzhao's mask, he had to marry me according to Miao customs. And so I sacrificed my entire life. I went blank, biting my lip hard. Fear made my whole body tremble. Song Bimu panicked. Rongjiu, what's wrong? Why are you so pale? Are you feeling unwell? He tried to rise, forgetting his own wounds, only to collapse back down in pain. Did I frighten you? I forced a smile. It's nothing to do with you. Just some unpleasant memories. I'm sorry, General Song. It was an emergency, that's why I removed your clothes. Song Bimu's gaze fixed on me. Relieved, he regained his usual easygoing manner, deliberately trying to make me smile. Don't be afraid. I was just saying that. I gave a soft MHM. Neither of us ever mentioned this incident again. After he woke up, he didn't contract the plague and had others come to care for him. I spent almost the entire day inside the room. My father was the chief physician of the Imperial Medical Bureau, so I understood quite a bit about pharmacology. That prescription was flawed. We had to develop an effective formula as quickly as possible. Winter came early in the northern lands. After a heavy snowfall, the world was blanketed in pure white. I never expected to see that dark Miao robe amidst the pristine snow. The cold wind rattled the silver ornaments on Wu Mingzhao's robes, producing a crisp clinking sound. I didn't want to bother with him. He stood motionless outside for an entire day. Only when he froze stiff and collapsed into the snow did I grit my teeth and reluctantly bring him back inside. He was a hostage sent by the Miao tribe. Any mishap would provoke unrest. This lifetime, Wu Mingzhao and I had long drawn a clear line between us. Were it not for the common people, I would never have lifted a finger for him. When Wu Mingzhao awoke, the jet-black eyes beneath his mask locked onto me instantly. He called out to me, trembling with emotion, "Jiu. I knew you wouldn't abandon me." Without lifting my head, I continued writing the prescription in my hand. The hostage is fine now. Please return. The ploy of feigning injury won't work on me. He fell silent, neither speaking nor leaving. The flickering candlelight reflected in his dark eyes, like 2 tears. I snorted softly. Could someone like him truly feel sorrow? Could he truly shed tears? In my past life, I too had used the ploy of feigned suffering. Shortly after swallowing the poisonous worm, nausea and agony overwhelmed me, a metallic taste of blood rising in my mouth. For 3 full days, I could not keep anything down. Starving, I was on the brink of death. I thought it might soften his heart, even just a little. But it didn't. He forced ginseng broth down my throat to keep me alive. Wu Mingzhao, I can divorce you. I'll give the position back to Jilingsu. Just let me go. 3 years of married life had slowly eroded every hope I'd ever had for him. His gaze lingered, coldly studying my pale, emaciated face. A flicker of pity flickered in his eyes, fleeting as a phantom. My pleas only drew a colder voice from him. If I let you go, what about Su Su? Where would I find another sorcerer to cure her? Those insects, you'll eat them whether you like it or not. I went mad, cursing him, telling him I hated him. Cursing him to die a miserable death. His face, too beautiful to be real, only showed a faint, mocking smile. Rongjiu, your greatest mistake in this life was meeting me and removing my mask. So even if we hate each other, we're bound together. Wu Mingzhao coughed weakly, picking up the discarded prescription papers I'd tossed on the floor. Realizing what I was doing, he murmured a plea, "Don't send me away. Let me be your medicine man." A test subject offering himself? Why refuse? I brewed bowl after bowl of bitter, unpalatable concoctions whose potency remained unknown, watching coldly as he drank them down. Just as in my past life, when he treated me as his poison vessel. I felt no pity or compassion for him. Several times, the potency backfired. He vomited uncontrollably, blood mingling with his vomit. I presented another bowl of the concoction before him. "Want more? I keep no useless people here. If you won't drink, get out." His lips turned purple, his eyelashes trembling as he pleaded, "I won't leave. I can keep drinking." I used Wu Mingzhao as a test subject. Gradually, I grasped the pharmacology and formulated a cure for the epidemic. After sending it out, Wu Mingzhao's body was saturated with medicinal toxins. His breath grew faint, and he collapsed unconscious in his chair. The correct formula took effect swiftly. The epidemic eased, and many patients began recovering. But Wu Mingzhao still hadn't regained consciousness. On his long, pale neck, veins pulsed an unnatural purple, like those eerie flowers and vines of the Miao tribes. I had no intention of saving him. Let him die here, it was what he owed me. I never asked him to be the medicine man, did I? In the northern city, a celebratory banquet was held. Lively fireworks bloomed against the snowy backdrop. With the epidemic lifted, Song Bimu, now recovered from his injuries, and I were ready to depart. After the banquet, Song Bimu found me and offered his congratulations with a smile. "Miss Song, a physician's heart is compassionate, hands that bring back spring. This northern plague's end is all thanks to you." I smiled and clinked glasses with him. Only after drinking himself a bit tipsy did Song Bimu bring up Wu Mingzhao. "I heard the Miaojiang crown prince came looking for you." I thought of the man in the room, his fate unknown, and laughed indifferently. Did he? I wish no connection with him. He must have left by now. Song Bimu escorted me back. The room lay in deep shadow. I reached for the lamp. Someone seized me from behind, holding me tight. I froze. Moonlight filtered through the snow-covered ground, illuminating the cold mask on his face. I sneered, "Prince Hostage truly has a strong constitution. How does it feel to be a human medicine?" His breath came in shallow, deep waves against my ear. Weak and hoarse, he spoke, "After all this time, can you stop hating me? Chio, take off my mask, please? Whatever revenge you want to take on me from now on, I'll let you." "No." I broke free from his embrace. "Absolutely not." My voice was calm, almost cruel. "I feel nothing for you. I dislike you. I despise you. So I will never remove your mask, and you must never appear before me again." Back in the Imperial City. For my service in treating the plague, I ascended the Golden Hall to receive rewards. As the bestowments concluded, the Emperor recalled my age, 17, and on a whim, granted me a marriage. "Among all the young men in this hall, whichever day you choose, I shall grant you the daughter of the Rong family." I froze. The marriage in my past life had wounded me too deeply. I did not wish to marry so soon, but the Emperor's favor was a gift I could not refuse. My gaze swept across the hall filled with imperial relatives and nobles. It lingered briefly on Wu Mingzhao before moving on. Yet I never anticipated this. He stepped forward to the palace steps and knelt before the Emperor. "Your servant has long cherished Miss Rong. I beseech your majesty to grant this solitary heart's wish, bestow a marriage between me and Rongjiu." I stared at him in stunned bewilderment. What was he doing? In my past life, he had loved Jilingsu so deeply. I had already let him go to fulfill his happiness. Why must he persist in this entanglement? Or did he think I'd be foolish enough to become his love spell victim again in this life? This general also wishes to marry the young lady of the Rong family. Song Bimu arrived before the hall and knelt beside Wu Mingzhao. In the Northwest lands, she saved my life. I wish to pledge myself to her, devoting my entire life to repaying Miss Rong's kindness. The hall erupted in chaos. One was the young general of the Song family, the other a hostage prince from Miaojiang. Neither would yield, both vying to marry me. Finally, the emperor spoke, "Let the young lady of the Rome family choose whichever of you she favors. The decision rests with her." The eyes beneath Wu Mingzhao's mask dimmed. I rose to my feet. Unsurprisingly, I pointed to Song Bimu. On the day of my marriage to Song Bimu, the ceremony was exceedingly grand. Song Bimu was overjoyed, distributing invitations and chattering to everyone in the military camp about how he'd finally fulfilled his wish to marry the girl of his dreams. On the wedding day, Wu Mingzhao did not appear. I heard he had returned to Miaojiang and likely would never come back. He knew I didn't want to see him. He had someone deliver a wooden box to me, containing his wedding gift. But I felt no curiosity and never opened it. I tossed it onto the top shelf of my bookcase, leaving it to gather dust. Years later, our daughter, born to Song Bimu and me, knocked over the bookcase. The wooden box fell, shattering into pieces. A pale blue insect named Floating Life emerged. Once more, I witnessed scenes from my past life. That year imprisoned in the dark chamber. My hair had turned white, my face aged and haggard. The one gravely ill was not Jilingsu, it was me. Wu Mingzhao feared I would discover the truth. He forbade me from leaving, blocked all light from entering the room, hiding my appearance. The bugs he forced me to consume were all nourished by his own heart's blood. Only after I smashed everything in the room and fell asleep with tears in my mouth did he emerge from the shadows. He sat by the bedside, raising his hand to gently wipe the tears from my face. His eyes flickered with light, silently gazing at my disfigured features with tenderness. In the painting of a past life. When the Miao people found him, I learned Jilingsu was the bride chosen for him by the Miao tribe. The lover's bug feeds on the life force of its target. The closer the bond, the fiercer the drain. Even as he restrained himself from closeness, I still fell ill. He considered transferring the love poison to Jilingsu, which is why he drew near her. But there was no way. The moment the mask was removed, my death was inevitable. Nurturing a poison with heart's blood is a forbidden art of the Miao tribe. Those who wield this forbidden art cannot live long either. Wu Mingzhao would rather I hate him than refuse to swallow the bug tainted with his blood. The subsequent bloodletting was also to alleviate the poison of the lover's bug within my body, prolonging my life. But, despite all he did, I only lived another year, dying in his arms. After my death, Wu Mingzhao sacrificed his own life as an offering, feeding the bug to the leech, in exchange for a chance to start over. This time around, he found a way to break the lover's bug. But even with a second chance, I no longer loved him. I awoke from the dream of a floating life. Song Bima gripped my hand anxiously, his cheeks gaunt, stubble sprouting on his chin. My daughter stood by the bedside, her eyes swollen from crying. "Jiao, you're awake. Mother, you slept for so long." Both rushed to embrace me, holding me tightly in their arms. I suppose this might be the best possible ending for me and Wu Mingzhao. The end.